childhood is the most important part of any person's life, in my opinion. It certainly was for me. And I feel like all children, they become what they become later as an adult based on their experiences as a child, from the moment they're born until about the age of 10 or 11 years old. And my most impactful, most important moments in my life that made me who I am today, that made me the person that I am, were spent in Greers Ferry, Arkansas in the 80s, mostly in the 80s. I was born in 1975, so it was like late 70s and throughout the 1980s. And this particular street in this video was almost at that time back then when I was a child, almost my whole family took up the entire road. And now it's down to a couple of houses left, a couple of properties where family still lives to this day. And this is one of them here. Went to visit my great uncle. This is his property, and there are just so many cherished memories here. And I wanted to use the opportunity because I recently went to Arkansas to help my mom with some medical issues, and we decided to go visit my uncle and my other aunt, who was a little farther down the road. And I wanted to make sure I got video this time, because I've looked back on old photos and I just feel like there's not enough. There are so many things that I remember vividly in my mind, and I can't find photos for any of them. These little owls right here, my uncle will always point them out when I visit, because I gave them to him when I was 2 or 3 years old. So he makes sure that I know that my owls are on his wall and they've been there for a long time.
Look back there and remember the chicken coop and the outhouse and damn rooster. I remember that rooster.
Like going that way toward the creek?
Huh?
We always went that way toward the creek?
Uh-huh. Well, we'd go up behind the chicken coop and go down.
Yeah. Childhood is so important, like I said. It's such a shame. It's so sad that there are so many children who either grow up in abusive homes, or maybe like today especially, they grow up in homes where the parents are absent. They're not really in the children's lives. They just kind of use the television, the computer, the video games as the babysitter, and let those things raise the children for them. And it's just such a shame. It really is. I cannot imagine if that had been my life. And I just feel so happy and blessed to, like I said, have such a wonderful childhood where we got to, utilize nature, be out in nature, and just be kids, and also spend time with family.
Chester's house, look at that, with the water fountain in the front.
Was that always there?
No, the water fountain wasn't. The people that bought it up, but that guy's been helping Peggy a lot.
So was it this way?
Yeah, just keep going.
And we spent so many years going to Greers Ferry for family reunions and Christmas and Thanksgiving, and sometimes even Easter out on this big property. Me and my cousins and would hunt Easter eggs, and it was just such a wonderful time.
We can just sit here in the car.
Or maybe I can just pull right here and just not over there.
So that they can get in there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ed used to have the prettiest garden here.
There's just so many memories here, and like I said, it is the most impactful moments of my life. And this was my great uncle Ed and his wife Peggy's property. My Aunt Peggy still lives there, and I remember going to their pond a lot, which is in the back of the house, and we would fish out there, and I remember seeing snakes, and I remember catching a gigantic turtle. Actually, I don't know if I was the one that caught the big turtle, but I just remember someone caught a huge turtle on a fishing line, and it was just like this big story for a really long time. But we spent a lot of time here as well. And there's not many of my family members left, and if this is my great Aunt Peggy, and she's always such a joy, but it was just a joy. It was really nice visiting with them, and I hope to be able to do it again very soon. I miss this place so much. And that kind of leads me to wanting to just say this, because maybe it's just for myself, but if I could pick anywhere in the world to live and live out the rest of my days, it would be in Greers Ferry on this street. But the problem with that is, even though if that were to happen, if God was to bless me with a house and a property on this road somewhere, it still wouldn't be the same, because my family members, they wouldn't be there. Of course, like I said, there are a couple of family members still there, and that would be so wonderful. But I know it wouldn't last forever. So we just kind of have to take our memories, take the nostalgia that comes with the memories, and just hold on to them. And like I did with this video, I wanted to make sure I got as much detail as possible so that I could, go back over the videos and look and kind of really remember how things were.
I used to walk up that road there with Granny Nelson and Ned, her dog. Me and her would take a walk and go up that hill, and now you can't even go in it. Well, yeah, you can, because they got property for sale up there now.
My last memory from that place was when Debbie came up here with me. We were fishing off the bridge.
Yeah, the bridge.
And then we heard a bear.
Mm-hmm.
And we hightailed it out of there. We left everything, left our poles in the water and everything. And then when we came back later, there was a fish on our line, on my line. It was a little bitty catfish.
This was Marty and Lucille's place. They both gone now.
Most of everything that I've seen has been unchanged.
Right there.
And I know that there will come a time when there are no more family members left, and other people will be occupying these homes, and I won't have the opportunity to go and take video. I just can't imagine that.
See, the store's not even open anymore.
Well, it's pretty much boarded up.
Actually made quite a bit of money during the summer.
Because my granny and grandpa, who died many years ago, that They lived in the house in the beginning of the video, the green one that was off in the distance behind the fence and in front of a big field, and a bunch of stuff around on the property, a bunch of old broken down cars and stuff. I so desperately wish that I would have been able to take video or have more pictures than I have of being on that property. I remember my grandparents used to sit out on that porch every morning when the sun came up, and there would be fog, laid over the field out in front of their house, and they would sit there and smoke cigarettes and talk and drink their coffee while watching deer graze in the field. And in that same field as a child, I would go out and lay in it and just look up at the stars. And these are my number one memories. I'll never forget them. And it like I said, childhood is it's the most important moment. So if you have children, young children, I pray that you will make their childhood the absolute best it can be, the most memorable. Don't just pass them off to the babysitters, the human babysitters, the technology babysitters. Do stuff with your kids. Take them out into nature, take them hiking, take them on picnics, swimming and camping and bike riding, and enjoy life together as a family while they're children, because they're going to remember every bit of their childhood. And whether their childhood was something wonderful and memorable or something terrible and traumatic or just lackluster, something that wasn't very special, they're going to take that with them throughout their lives. And they're going to remember it more than they remember most other times in their life. And I have to say, there have been so many times in my life where terrible things have happened to me, and equally wonderful things have happened to me. And no matter what I have gone through, no matter what I have faced in my life, still, my childhood was the most memorable, the most impactful, the one thing that shaped me and molded me. And those memories, it's like nothing can compete with them, no matter how good or how bad something that happened to me into, my teenage years, into, when I lost my innocence. Nothing compares to those memories, and nothing ever will. And it's just so important to utilize that time, utilize those moments, and make them as memorable as they can be.
Wish I would have thought to do that when we went to the cemetery.
Well, we can do that when we go back to the cemetery.
Thank you for watching my video. Thank you for going along with me to my childhood home away from home, if you will. May God bless you, your family, and your life.